Well, some of you have been busy online submitting your questions for Pat. And Pat, this first one is from Esther, who says, my husband had an affair 10 years ago. We're still married, but I can't bring myself to love him. Help.
Esther, sit down and write out the good stuff about him. He's got to have something good. You wouldn't have married him to begin with. I mean, think about all the things. Does he provide for you? Is he kind? Does he beat you? Or is he gentle in a relationship? Does he look after your children? Does he provide you a nice home? And just write down and write all those things. And then focus on this. And then think about how Jesus forgave those who crucified him. And realize that that forgiveness is so important. But you have to dwell on the good stuff. If all you do is dwell on the fact that that rascal was unfaithful to me 10 years ago, you'll never love anybody. You won't even love yourself. All right?
Okay, this one is from Julie, who asks, how can I tell if the person I'm dating is the one?
Julie, you're asking the wrong guy.
We appreciate your candor.
That's right. Well, how can you tell?
You're asking the question, maybe.
I think what you better do is ask the Lord. You know, the Lord puts us together with the ones that he has for us. And as I reflect over many, many, many years of marriage and think about, you know, what could have been, I just think, God, you were a lot smarter than I was. Mm-hmm. I mean, God knows the DNA. He knows the match for your children. He knows, you know, compatibility. He knows all those things. And the one thing you don't do is to come up with some super spiritual thing. I've had, you know, I know of a couple of instances of just disasters.
What do you mean when you say super spiritual thing?
Well, God gave me a revelation that this, you know, one girl, you know, had a PhD and she married a guy that didn't have a high school degree. And talk about a mismatch. It was unbelievable. But
there were some practical things
there.
Yeah,
but there was a revelation. See, it was a spiritual thing that they'd had a revelation from God. Nonsense. Don't forsake wisdom. All right, what else?
This is Heather, who says, recently I was forced to relocate. Now my boyfriend lives across the country. How can we make our long-distance relationship work?
Either you move or he moves. That's how you make it work. It's not going to work long distance. I mean, you can, you know, absence makes the heart go fonder and all that kind of stuff. So you know, you can continue to love, but sooner or later, you know, you miss that. So you've got to come together. If you get married, hopefully you'll live together. So
hopefully that'd be a good idea if you get married.
Thank you.
You might want to do
That's
that.
my Valentine advice.
Thank you, Pat.
All right, what else?
Okay, this is Martha, who says, my daughter just got engaged. Her fiance's a nice guy, but he's 32. My daughter's 20. I think she's too young and he's too old. Am I just being stuffy?
Yes, you're just being stuffy. If they love each other, you know, it'll depend. But you know, I guess men have a tendency, they can fake old age a little bit better than ladies can, but I mean, women do, unless they have a little work done on them, they get a little, you know, they start losing it when they get, if there's a 12-year...
Send those cards and letters to Pat Robertson.
If there's a 12-year disparity, you know, so he's 20 and she's 32.
No, she's 20.
I know what you say, but
I see what you're saying. You
reverse
reverse it, yes.
All right, now get him up. He's now 40. She's 52. Now get him up a little bit more.
You know, that's what I was going to say.
She's 72.
When you're young, those age differences don't make as much of a difference. But there are certain points in life where it really does.
But as far as an older man, a 32, marrying a 20-year-old woman, I mean, hey.
It happens.
Well, it happens regrettably all the time. I mean, you know, some trophy wife, and you know, that's what some of these wealthy old guys do. They pick up some babe that's, you know, young enough to be their granddaughter. And
at 32, we can't qualify this guy as
a wealthy old man.
He's picking up a babe, okay.
But that's what happens,
yes,
you know.
Well,
you see him.
It does, yeah.
Oh, we got a trophy wife. I mean, look, I've got a condo. I mean, I've got a place in Florida. I've got some place on the Riviera. I've got a yacht. I got an airplane, and now I got her. I mean, that's the idea.
Got it all.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a quick one. This is Phil, who says, do you think people should date coworkers?
A lot of companies have policies about stuff like this because it leads to confusion. But I don't see any reason why not, frankly. I mean, you work together, but...
you just need to weigh the consequences should the relationship not work out. Sometimes that can be a little bit awkward.
Check the rules of your company, because sometimes they say, well, if you're going to get together, that's fine, but you're not going to do it on our nickel.
Well, and sometimes companies won't let two people, once you're married, work for them.
Well, that's right. Well, the chances of collusion is very strong, and somebody can be cheating and covering up errors and all the rest of it. They make a clique within the group, and it's unsettling to the rest of the employees. It's a real problem, and I think so. Keep that in mind. But as far as dating, I mean, hey, okay.